The cafe door hadn't even chimed yet when the words hit him like a fist to the chest. "Can we eat with you?" Two small voices asked in perfect unison, so soft they could have been the wind, yet they stopped 35-year-old Nathan Caldwell dead in the middle of another gray morning. He looked down from his corner table and saw two identical little girls, no older than 6, standing barefoot on the cold tile in oversized thrift store sweaters, clutching each other's hands as though the world might rip them apart if they let go. Their huge brown eyes carried a hunger far deeper than the half-eaten toast crusts on Nathan's plate. In that single heartbeat, every wall he had built since the crash that stole his wife 2 years earlier cracked wide open. If you've ever felt that ache of second chances, that whisper that kindness still matters, hit the like button now, leave a heart in the comments, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. We tell the stories that remind us we're never as alone as we think. Nathan had come to Brewster Bay Cafe every morning for 730 days. Always the same window table, always black coffee gone cold, always staring at the empty chair across from him, where Claire used to sit sketching sailboats on napkins for their daughter, Ava. Ava was 8 now, asleep at home under the care of a neighbor because Nathan still couldn't bear school drop. Off lines where happy couples waved goodbye together. Grief had turned him into a ghost who moved through life on autopilot, work at the boatyard, microwave dinners, bedtime stories read through a throat thick with unshed tears. He functioned, but he had forgotten how to feel. The twins, later he would learn their names, were Sophie and Mila, stood trembling in the pale December light that streamed through the tall windows. Their dark curls were tangled, cheeks smudged with yesterday's adventures, and their 2 large sweaters slid off narrow shoulders no matter how many times they tugged them up. The cafe owner, Mrs. Delgado, was gently explaining that children couldn't stay without an adult when Nathan heard his own voice, rusty from disuse, cut through the quiet room. He slid his plate across the table and pulled out 2 chairs. The girls climbed up like frightened sparrows, knees knocking, and within seconds they were dividing his toast into 4 precise triangles, whispering thank you with mouths already full. They colored on the back of his receipt with crayons they produced from a pocket like magic. Purple boats, orange suns, green dogs wearing hats. Sophie had a tiny crescent scar above her right eyebrow. Mila did not. That small difference became the only way Nathan could tell them apart while they chattered about how their mommy worked night shifts at the nursing home, and sometimes the bus forgot to wake her. "She always finds us," Mila insisted, pressing a blue crayon into Nathan's hand so he could add water beneath their purple boat. He drew a wobbly wave and felt something inside his chest loosen for the first time in 2 years. Time folded. 1 minute the girls were licking butter from their fingers. The next the bell above the door burst open, and a woman stumbled in, coat unbuttoned, curly hair escaping a fraying ponytail, eyes wild with terror that melted into tears when she spotted the twins. She dropped to her knees right there on the tile, arms wrapping around both small bodies so tightly Nathan thought they might disappear inside her embrace. Her name, she managed between sobs, was Lena Ivanov, and she had fallen asleep on the late bus again after a double shift that paid just enough to keep the lights on in their tiny apartment above the laundromat. Nathan stood awkwardly, hands shoved deep in the pockets of his worn denim jacket, unsure where he fit in this reunion. Yet when Lena finally looked up, mascara streaking soft cheeks, she saw the colored receipt, the empty plate scraped clean, the 2 little girls beaming with full bellies and newfound trust. Something passed between the adults in that moment, an understanding carved from shared exhaustion and solitary battles. Lena whispered thank you over and over until the words lost shape and became pure gratitude. Coffee refills appeared courtesy of Mrs. Delgado, the 5 of them, because Ava had been texted and arrived 20 minutes later. Why? Died and suddenly shy, ended up spending the entire morning around that small table. Stories spilled out slowly. How Nathan still set 3 places at dinner out of habit. How Lena sometimes cried in the supply closet between patients. How Ava missed her mom's laugh. How Sophie and Mila had learned to pack their own school bags because tiny hands were sometimes steadier than tired ones. Outside, winter sunlight poured over the quiet street, turning frost on the windows into delicate lace. By noon, phone numbers had been exchanged, playdates tentatively planned, and the colored receipt carefully folded into Lena's pocket like a promise. Nathan walked them all to the door, Ava holding Mila's hand while Sophie skipped ahead. When Lena paused on the threshold, she reached out and squeezed Nathan's forearm. Just once, firm and warm. "Tomorrow," she said, voice steady now, same time, same table. "We'll bring pastries from the bakery where my cousin works." And Nathan, whose heart had shattered the moment 2 little girls asked for a seat, felt the pieces begin to knit themselves back together with something stronger than before. If this story reached inside your chest and squeezed, if it reminded you that broken hearts still have room to grow, please hit like, drop your favorite emoji in the comments, and share this video with someone carrying their own quiet ache. And right now, before the screen fades, pause for just 3 seconds and type "kindness heals" in the comments. It's a promise to the world and to yourself that tomorrow can be gentler than today. Because sometimes all it takes is one shared breakfast, one crack, topen morning, for loneliness to step aside and let hope sit down at the table.